There are probably a lot of disadvantages to having a business like mine where you do everything in-house. You know, we got the digital press right here. We got all of our large format stuff over there. We're doing screen printing, lasering over there, sublimation. It's a little crazy what we're doing at this shop. But there's some advantages, I feel like. So right here, for instance, the ability for us to bust out the flatbed printer and whip up a pre-registration system for the screen business, I think is pretty cool. All right, so I made up this new pre-registration system inside of Illustrator today. I learned about the Illustrator Grid Builder tool, so that was very useful. Made a little 1-inch grid. You can buy stuff like this on Etsy.com, but it's usually not customized to whatever your setup is. So on our automatic press, we are using 23-inch by 31-inch screens. The platens on our Workhorse are 16 by 22. And so that's what this represents right here. This is the platen, this is the frame. And then we have a center line going right here, and we have a line right here for our registration marks. And so I was able to, because I know what size our platen is, and I know exactly where about I want the registration marks to show up on here. That's why I built it like this, out of Coroplast on the flatbed. I assume you guys want to see how this works. So here's the design for a 1-color print job that we got to do today. 238 gray shirts, white color design. I'm waiting on some white ink to arrive here from TechSource today because I'm getting really low on the white ink that we use for our 50/50 blends, which typically we've been using this lately, the International Coatings Cool White 7022. I like this stuff. It's very silky, creamy, smooth, and I don't know. It was recommended to me by the guy from Workhorse Sabre, and they sell this at TechSource. Speaking of TechSource, screenprintingsupply.com is where I order all of my screen printing gear, and I've known these guys for a while now. They're the ones that trained us on how to do screen printing in the first place. Saw them again at the show at Printing United and was able to work out my very first sponsorship deal for the channel, so to speak. It's an affiliate marketing program. You're gonna start seeing some affiliate links for some of the supplies that we use in screen printing. There's a lot of consumables in the screen printing industry, and so if you want to help support the channel and you do screen printing yourself and you got to buy some supplies anyway, click the links below. All right, so here's how this works. We simply just lay down our pre-registration Coroplast here, and then what we're going to do is, before I spend a whole lot of time lining this up, I'm going to put a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. Okay, so on the automatic press, your design needs to be at least 5 inches down from the frame. And you can see here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're already about 5 to 6 inches. So we're good to go there. Our registration marks are lining us up really good on this line here. We're on the center line, and we're going to get this way as well. We also have a full-on grid so we can see that we're registered down there as well. So now all we do is we line up the frame. So you can see here, I really just used my fingers to feel on the edge of the frame when I set it down, and same thing on the front end of the frame. And then I got my piece of tape right here and my piece of tape right down here. And so now all we do is we simply lift and pull this out. All right, we're gonna put our little pigtail in there. Push up the frame against the little bump stops back there. Lower this down. Start. What happens with this is there's a vacuum that's gonna vacuum out all of the air inside of this frame right here. And that's why you have that little pigtail, so the air can kind of escape out of there. And this bladder, so to speak, this rubber membrane will completely block out all the light. If you don't have your settings set just right, if you don't have it so that the vacuum is done before the exposure starts to happen like that, you'll find that the emulsion is really hard right here, right where your registration marks are, and they won't wash out well. So you gotta have your settings just right for that. Okay, so when it's done, the biggest thing you gotta remember is you gotta lift up very slowly on this to let the air release. If not, the screen is gonna be suctioned to the top and it's gonna slam down, and you're probably gonna have a broken glass. And that would be no good. Okay, we saved this for the registration process later on the pallet. So I usually will take this over here and just set it on the press for now. All right, you'll see this is why we have a dirty side of the booth and we have a clean side. The clean side is for this process right here. We just have our standard garden hose. Go ahead and wet this on this side. And then we're gonna wet it on this side. We're gonna let that set for just a moment, but you could already see that design wanting to pop right through. Sorry I didn't show the rest of it getting washed out. I had customers walking in the door like crazy and I was worried that I let it sit too long, but thankfully I was able to get it washed out. We do tape it up with PMI tape. This is what's called split tape. This is 4 inches wide. I love the 4-inch wide because it's wide enough to go from here, cover up this, and get up on my frame to protect the cleanliness of the frames. The split tape is great because where the logo is right here, the TechSource logo, it's not very sticky at all. This is quite sticky, this is not. So sticky, not sticky at all. And so it doesn't stick to your frame that bad and leave a terrible residue to make it hard to clean. So love that stuff. I showed you the video the other day where we like to lay down this grid. I line up the film along with the grid. This is the same film that we use to burn the screen that we're using to line up. All right. Might have to move this down just a smidge. By the way, this is what a work order looks like coming out of Shopbox. You can see we are printing Gildan Out 8000 dry blend sport gray. It is 1 color, full front. That's the quantity breakdown, total of 238. So we got 58, 91, 62, 16, 9, and 1, 1. We do typically order 1 extra for each size, just in case. This was such a large order. I think we ordered at least 2 or 3 extra per size, just in case we have a mess up. But what I like to do is stack it from smallest to largest, and we kind of work our way down from there. So now that it's in one big stack. Other important thing, this is a front only shirt design, so all the shirts are actually facing upward on the front side, so it's really easy to slip it on. You have seen the rest of the process. I'm not gonna take you there. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to show you how so many times the fact of what we do in other areas really helps what we're doing on the apparel side of the business. And so it's nice when the different units of our business has some crossover like that. And I wanted to show you what our pre-registration system is like, how we do it, how we make things line up. If we didn't have something like that, it would make it terribly hard, especially when we're doing complicated prints like this CMYK print that we set up on this press, because as you may have seen in an earlier video that I released, I was down for the count with that machine and wasn't sure when we were going to get it back up. And so having the manual as a backup has been a godsend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Keep hitting that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave some comments below. See you soon. Take care.